And now,
Welcome, Anne, and thank you, thank you.
hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Karen. Hi, Matt.
Hey.
Matt or Matthew?
Yeah, Matt.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
All right. Gonna give a few minutes to people who come in. We have quite a few families today. And of course, we'll record this and put this on our YouTube channel, and everyone will be able to watch it at a later time. So if you're watching this at a later time, welcome. Hello. Thanks for joining us for our Lunch and Learn. All right. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. Wow, there's so many people. This is awesome. Okay, I'll share my screen. A couple of Zoom rules for those of you who are new. I see a lot of new faces, so thank you for joining us today. These are our weekly Lunch and Learns that we do at Autism Tree. This is something that we love to do, Dana and I. Dana's our executive director, and I'm the director of operations, Rebecca Barron. It's nice to meet you all. If I haven't yet, I'd love to hear from you. A couple Zoom rules: please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We recommend speaker view for presentation. Video sharing is optional. Please type all questions and comments into the chat. We love to hear from our people. Please be very vocal in the chat. We will have a Q&A at the end as well for you to unmute yourself and ask any questions to our guest speaker. A quick update from Autism Tree that we do each week. We've now reached over 678,000 people across all of our social media channels on Autism Tree. This is our LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We've been just so grateful to be able to reach so many people all around the world and across California and the country to serve our children and families with autism and just keep our community close. We've done 78 Lunch and Learns to date. Actually, today is our 79th Lunch and Learn. We have 78 already recorded on our YouTube channel, so I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already. We have amazing different guest speakers featured every single week. Since January of the beginning of this year, we've already coordinated 67 events for our children and families with autism. We do about 2 to 5 events on average every single week, virtually and in person. So if you're in San Diego County, we'd love to see you in person, and virtually you can join from anywhere. So please, we have 25 coming up, and we update these every single week and every month. We come up with new fun events for our families to get together. So stay tuned on our social media channels and check out our website event calendar for more information. We offer 19 programs virtually. 5 are currently going on in person. 452 videos are now on our HPF YouTube channel. Please subscribe today if you haven't. Click that subscribe button. I've always wanted to say that. And we've also posted 391 of these videos since March 12th, when the pandemic first hit. That's when we started creating video content for our kids and families, parents who are telling their stories, volunteers who are doing special at-home activities that they're sharing for families to do during the pandemic. And now, of course, we have these amazing Lunch and Learns. There's a wealth of resources available on our YouTube channel. We highly recommend you check them out. Special thank you to our Lunch and Learn sponsor today, CalABLE. We're so grateful for the sponsorship to keep our Lunch and Learns going. This whole educational series has been amazing. CalABLE, you'll learn more about today. Thanks for joining. Here's a link to their website. We will do a recap email with all of this information as well. We have a quick little CalABLE ambassadors. They just launched their 2022 ambassadors, and we have 2 videos. And with your permission, Anne, would you like us to share these today?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
That would be great.
So this first one, both of these are parents of autism, and the videos are only about a minute each. So I'll go ahead and play them.
I'm Ashley Mannheim. A fun fact about me, I have traveled to over 40 different countries. Once we started the CalABLE program, the biggest feeling I got was a sense of relief. In the past, I would have always tried to keep, even just a few $100s in a savings account, just in case. But if you keep that, then you make yourself ineligible for a lot of other government help. And so with CalABLE, I finally am safe to do that, to have just that little cushion for life's emergencies, and especially also for things like medical needs that insurance doesn't cover. We used it just recently to be able to buy a newer and bigger car because my son got a bigger wheelchair, which was wonderful. He needed it. He's growing, but it did not fit in our previous car. Right now, my son's real hope and dream is to have a service dog, and they are very expensive. And before now, I always had to say, no, I'm sorry. Not only do we not have that, we never can have that amount. But now that is possible. So we're saving up for it. It's going to be a while, but it's possible, and that's our savings goal. We are CalABLE. I'm Ashley Mann.
I love that one. And this next one is from a father, Stephen Bell.
My name is Stephen Bell. I'm a retired chief of the California Highway Patrol. And many, many years ago, I used to play the cello. So Bradley is a 22-year-old man, beautiful. He's got a beautiful voice. He's got a beautiful spirit. He loves to draw. He loves to engage people. He's just not sure quite how to do that, but he's learning and he's trying. The way the system is now, it can be very limiting for persons with special needs and kind of imposing a poverty level of things. But now with CalABLE, we have an opportunity for him to save money and for him to realize his dream. My son wants to travel. He wants to go to Europe. He wants to go to Asia. He wants to go to Disney World and visit his uncle. He wants to get on the train and go see 50 different states. Well, not 50, but 48 different states. And he just wants to travel. CalABLE is going to be part of that. It's maybe a cliche, but it is realizing his dream. We are CalABLE. My name is Stephen.
There we go. And of course, you'll learn more from our guest speaker today about how to open a CalABLE account. So without further ado, I'll pass it off to Dana Hoff, our co-founder and executive director. She'll be introducing our guest speaker, Ann Osborne, today.
Thank you, Rebecca. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here with you and just to, celebrate that things happen for a reason. Dante, the executive director, was supposed to be the speaker today, so you might have noted a change. And I find myself breathing through more change in my personal life, and I struggle, a lot with change. So it's sort of nice that I kicked off the pre-call with Ann today, and I'm counting it as just a huge blessing because, as you all know, Rebecca and I and our team at Autism Tree and us together doing every lunch and learn, how we lead is with love, and how we do that is by connecting to people with our hearts. And once that's in place, it's all systems go. And that is truly what happened with Ann today. And I'm not a person in 19 years with the foundation, as the executive director that has really done a lot of work with government. For anyone that knows my son Garrett, I'm actually very grateful that is a huge passion point for him. And that's why he went to George Washington University. And he has such a heartbeat to change policy and make change for anyone who doesn't have a voice for themselves. So I am grateful, and this relationship with CalABLE has sort of been definitely a blessing, but today was sort of heaven sent with Ann stepping up since Dante's out sick and just learning from her what her personal connection is. Just personally meant everything to me in bringing CalABLE to you. It's so, so important to me that everyone that we work with authentically has just an all-in heartbeat for our families for what we're doing. And we don't like to open the door to anyone at Autism Tree unless that is 100% pure and intact. And so I just want to, give Anne extra gratitude today that it was meant to be. She's here. Her voice in sharing her personal connection is going to be meaningful to you. I know that. And Matt, I want to welcome you here too today and thank you for the support of CalABLE. The Lunch and Learn during the pandemic, like Rebecca mentioned earlier, we started getting phone calls well before the schools closed with parents and people in our community that were just absolutely panicking what to do. Their preschools were closing, they were being sent home from work. All it was happening very randomly and very unorganized. And so we just started creating these quick videos of like how to create a schedule, and really it was just to reach out and have communication. And so the Lunch and Learn group, numbers of people that are on here, like Jeff from Massachusetts here today, who's been on our Living Autistically panel on our neuroscience conference, and Karen Wright, who leads our ministry program at ATAPF for 19 years. Many people on here have been a huge supportive force and guiding the speakers and the direction of our Lunch and Learns, which is really just to keep moving forward and to providing more doors and opportunities for our families. So I really love the 1-minute videos that we showed you guys on CalABLE. I like them a lot because they're 1 minute and it really shows you a real family. And it really shows you that they're reaching and growing from wanting a service to dog to traveling. And that's what we're always out doing at Autism Tree too. We're always trying to open new doors. We have over 200 teens. We've raised a generation of families. And now we have a new generation of families. And so I think the timing of CalABLE is really, really good for our community. And like I said, underlined in bold, the making sure that we look out for each other. And that's kind of the theme. And Matt, I want to get you a book that we gave to recap 2021. And our artist, Joel Anderson, who you see the artwork behind me, is done by him. And he's been with our foundation for 19 years and he's in his 30s. I love the piece, and it's in our new office in La Jolla, looking out for each other. And it's all these different eyes, and they're actual eyes. One of them is actually one of my eyes, and I'm not sure which one. I'm asking Joel to do a diagram, but I think it's so important. I think looking out for each other is important for everyone in the world, but certainly for our community that's more vulnerable. And so it's just, with a big extra warmth to all of you today. I don't know if anyone else is feeling fatigued, but I feel that today. So if I'm a little flat, I apologize, but I am counting directly my conversation with Anne today as a blessing. And the other thing I wanted to share with you today is that we're continuing to move forward on our neuroscience conference. And I'm not sure, Matt and Anne, if you know about it, but our neuroscience conference was done for the first time all virtually and put on the UCTV platform. Every month we get an update on the views from our conference. We've had over 10 countries viewing it and over 71,000 views. And I just wanted to share it with you that today we're having Dr. Motri and Roger Bingham work with us on who's going to be our keynote and the different panels we're doing. And I just wanted to share that because I thought it would be relevant for CalABLE to know about that. Our actual viewership and impact, we went from having a theater in La Jolla where we did our neuroscience conference for 5 years, at capacity around 400 people. To go from 400 people to now over 71,000 views is incredible. And I see you, Jeff. I know you feel very proud of this milestone that you've been a part of, but it's just means so much to me to really keep moving forward on having more of a global impact. And we've had many Lunch and Learns that are people from other countries that are tied to our family here. And so I just, want to say that we are going to have an outstanding neuroscience conference this year, and it's going to be a hybrid. And I'm just very, very excited about it. So, and as I'm excited to thank CalABLE for being our sponsor and for Anne to speaking today, and just say, I look forward to a long-term relationship with CalABLE. Because today I was just so felt so much connection to you, Anne. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much for having me. I do apologize that Dante is not here to present, but I will do my best. As I said, you get the second best member of the team. So And we have a large team of 3, so we're all the best.
And do
So-
you mind sharing with the group just a little bit about how you have a heartbeat for autism?
Sure. As I was telling Dana earlier, I actually have a nephew who was diagnosed at 2 with autism, and just having him as part of our family has really just opened our eyes to what it's like to have an autism person in your family. And he is unfortunately very low functioning. He requires 24-hour care, and just I've spent time with my sister's family. I see what she and her husband go through every day. And, you know, it's not easy, but it's the strength that they have in their relationship. It's the support of our family that really makes it possible for them to do things that they want to do. I mean, they had 2 other children, 2 other daughters. They were both into horses, did a lot of 4-H. So, I mean, it's just really broadened the spectrum. And also, my parents actually lived down in the Del Mar area, so very familiar with the work that you guys have done and what has happened down in San Diego. I know it's a really hotbed there, and they do a lot of research. And so, you know, this is just exciting that we have this relationship with Autism Tree. I just think it's a great partnership, and I look forward to a long-lasting partnership as well. But as I was telling Dana, you know, being in state service, you think it's you know, a job, but actually for me, CalABLE it's just part of my heart, because I know it serves everybody. I see how it affects my sister's family, and just, you know, that it's not just a government program, but it's really there to help you. So hopefully I can just share a few little things here today. I know we don't have a lot of time, but, you know, I am really proud of our ambassadors that you saw earlier. We actually have 9 ambassadors total. So the first 2 you saw were the first of the series. And so we have been releasing those on social media, and I'm sure we'll get them all to you as we continue to roll them out. But as we were talking about futures, you know, with having a child or a person with a disability, if you have to plan for something, you know, it can be challenging. And so if you want to just take a few minutes here and just type in the chat, and I'll look at that. Is there anything that you are interested in saving for? And if anybody wants to type in what they are possibly interested or what their future savings goal would be, we can just have you type it in real quick. And I will say we do have Matt Harmons here today. He's our analyst, and so he'll be taking notes of anything that is said. If there's any follow-up, he'll be helping me follow up on that. Okay. Oh, vacation. That everybody wants to go on vacation. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Saving for independent living. Yep. That's a big goal. Going to school. Looks like somebody wants to move out on their own. Yep. And, you know, we have an ambassador who actually last year, his name was Antonio. He actually is at Georgetown, Georgia Tech. He's at Georgia Tech, and he is in a program there. So, and he is using his CalABLE account for expenses there. So a lot of good things, getting a car. This is pretty common when I'm seeing in the chat. We always ask this question. We do a monthly webinar series, and this is pretty much what we see. So it's nice to see that everyone has the same type of goals. So what are some of the financial challenges living with a disability? As we know, living independent can be a little more expensive. The resources that you have are going to be more expensive for you, and sometimes they're not covered by insurance. As Ashley said in the video, you know, when her son needed a new wheelchair, they needed a larger vehicle. And so, you know, that was something that wasn't covered by insurance. And so they used that money out of their CalABLE account. So we do know that having a disability is going to be financially challenging for people. And also, as we can see here on the slide, there was a survey recently done for people that had a serious illness or long-term disability. And in that survey, 44% of them said they had to use their savings to meet those extra expenses. 64% of them said they were unable to work. And that, you know, definitely going to be the case with my nephew. He's not going to be able to support himself. And 58% of the people said that after they had their serious illness, it was tough for them to go back to their job. So we do know that having a disability can cause some financial hardships on people. And we also know that if you are receiving SSI or benefits, that without CalABLE, you are limited to that $2,000 savings resource limit. With CalABLE, you can put money into a CalABLE account and you can save above that resource limit. So the fear of losing your benefits with an ABLE account, that fear is gone. And so that is a really nice sense of stress relief that people have when they can use their CalABLE account for that. We also hear that people are afraid of, you know, am I going to lose my benefits? Am I going to not get money for food if they're a recipient of other programs? Again, all these things are possible with a CalABLE account. Oops, where'd it go? Where'd I go? Uh-oh, what did I do? Okay, sorry. So in 2014, the ABLE Act was passed, and this was passed to marry part of the 529 college savings program. College savings was around before CalABLE, and it was part of the IRS tax code. CalABLE is the 529A portion of the federal IRS tax code. As you can see, people that have 529 savings programs, they tend to save more than people have with those traditional retirement savings plans. As you can see on this chart here, definitely the 529 savings program in 2019 and in 2020, it outperformed the traditional savings program. So CalABLE have taken that model and pretty much modeled their program after that. So we know it works. And so this is the program that CalABLE has used. So why use a CalABLE account? The first thing is the money is tax-free. You can grow it through savings and investing. You can access it at any time without taxes or penalties. And when you access the money, you would use it through what we call a qualified disability expense. And then as long as the withdrawal meets the criteria for qualified disability expense, you would not pay any additional taxes or penalties on that withdrawal. Then other thing about ABLE accounts, these are all set up to be savings and investments accounts that are managed by program managers. CalABLE's account is managed by Tia Kreff, and we do have an FDIC insured portfolio as well as 3 target risk investment portfolios that people can select. And if you are receiving means tested benefits with CalABLE, you can save up to $100,000 in your account and not have the risk of losing your benefits. So who is eligible? You can open an ABLE account if the onset of your disability began before age 26. So if you are 40 years old and that disability onset happened before 26, you are eligible to open a CalABLE account. So you don't have to be 26 or younger. You can be any age as long as that age of onset was prior to age 26. If you are receiving SSI or SSDI, you already meet the criteria, so you're automatically eligible. If you're unsure if your disability qualifies, you can look at the SSA list of compassionate allowances or the Blue Book listings. And with that, you would qualify under what we call self-certification. And that basically means that you certify under penalty of perjury that you have a disability, and then you would also need to get a letter from your physician. The physician you're currently seeing can provide that letter, and you just want to keep that letter on file. You don't need to give it to CalABLE, you just need to have that letter. What you need to do to open a CalABLE account, the first thing is you need to have web access, because CalABLE is an online program. So after today's program, if you try to go to a commercial bank, you would not be able to open an account. You have to do it on the calable.ca.gov portal, and that is very easy to open an account. You would need your social security number, your date of birth, and contact information, as when you open your account, you would need to enter that into the portal. Also, you would need to make a $25 minimum deposit. That opens your CalABLE account, and you would want to make that deposit. We also recommend that if you want to transfer funds between your CalABLE account and your commercial account, that you have that information when you're going through the portal, because it makes that online transfer of funds a lot easier for you. The way you put money, deposit or withdraw funds, as I talked about, is you can do it electronically, doing that transfer between accounts. You can do that. If you would like a check written to you, to the beneficiary or the authorized legal representative, we can do that. There is, I will say, a $5 fee for if a check is issued to you. If you would like a check mailed to your rent or for utilities, that would be a third-party check. Again, that would be a $5 additional fee. And then you can also have what we call a prepaid card. And this card allows you to put money on it, as the name prepaid is. You could, let's say, put $100 on that card. And if you wanted to go grocery shopping, you wanted to go have coffee with your friends, you can use that card, and then you could make your withdrawal from the prepaid card. And then our last slide here, I know we have a short amount of time, and this is something we show in our monthly webinars. As I mentioned, we have a webinar series. It's on multiple topics. We've had special needs trust, qualified disability expenses. There's one even on tips and tricks. It's a tutorial on how to actually open a CalABLE account. It's got screenshots. It's a step-by-step process. Those are all available on our YouTube channel. And Matt, if you could show people in the chat what our YouTube channel link is, that they could go there and just see all our different webinar series that we have. So if you would like to hear more stories from account holders, certainly you can visit attend our webinars, because we do have our ambassadors on those webinars sharing their stories. Also, they will be available on social media. If you would like Dante, myself, or Matt to give you a call, you can certainly put that number, your contact information, if it's phone or email, you could put that in the chat, and we can certainly give you a call and follow up with you. Or if you've had everything today that you need to open an account, you can certainly go to calable.ca.gov. And there is a nice big button that says open an account on the home screen, and you can select that and you can open your account. And that's all I have for you right now. I would be happy to take any additional questions.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you so much, Anne. Perfect. We do have a question in the chat, and I encourage anybody else, if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat and I can read it for you, or you can raise your hand or unmute yourself as well. Our first question is from Heather. Can I link more than one bank account? For example, my son and his dad and my accounts to transfer to CalABLE?
That's a great question. I'm not, if you call our call center, we should have that. It's 833-225-2253. They are actually the experts on all the back end of, if you have questions of that sort, they are the experts. But Matt, that's a great question. Let's look that up and we can get back to you. But that's the first time I've heard that question. So I apologize. I don't have a better answer, but
I think
the
I've
call
heard that
center
question.
definitely would.
Oh, and I've heard that question before, and I'm pretty sure that the answer is yes, but I'll definitely look into that so that we can give a 100% sure answer.
Great, Matt.
Thank you. Angela asked, will these material slides be on the YouTube channel? I logged in a bit late. Thanks. Angela, we're just happy you're here. Yes, of course. I'll send a recap email to everyone who registered and also our whole ATPF community with all of the slides and the links to their CalABLE YouTube channel, the call center number that Anne just gave us. We'll have all of this information in that recap email that will go out this Friday to everyone. Amanda said, I'm sorry if I missed this, but do you have to be diagnosed with a disability or disorder? Are there any common challenges that do not qualify?
As I said, it's got to be the onset of that disability prior to age 26. I'm just going to say if you had we know autism is something that occurs when you were young, but it may not be affecting you till maybe, let's say 30 years old. But you had that, and we know that it happens when you are a child. So if you start experiencing some disability functions that's causing you to, be limiting your abilities, you get that letter from the physician that you're seeing that says, yes, this person has autism. You get that letter, you're going to automatically be allowed to open the CalABLE account, because that onset was prior to age 26. It may not have started to affect you till you're older, but we do know that autism is something that occurs when you're young.
Mm-hmm. Amanda, I love how active you are in the chat right now. If you want to unmute yourself and speak, I totally welcome it as well. But she also asked, what about adults who have gone undiagnosed and have a difficulty getting diagnosed but still want to participate? They have to have that official diagnosis.
Well, again, you've got it really relies on the physician. You really need to have that letter. That is part of the federal law. So if it's undiagnosed and you're working on that, you really need to have that diagnosis to be eligible to open an ABLE account at this time. Right now, there is some legislation in Congress that they are looking to expand the age of eligibility to age 46. That has not been passed yet. So if you are past the 26 age and you're still working on that diagnosis, we're hoping you know, I've been with CalABLE since 2019, and we keep hoping every year it's going to be passed. I'm sure it will pass. I'm just not sure when that's going to pass. So I would say keep working with your physician, see if you can get that diagnosis, you know, that letter. If you're unable to do that, keep working, and eventually I'm sure that age is going to be expanded to 46, but right now it is held at 26.
But just to be clear, I keep hearing you say onset, but then I just heard you say diagnosis as well. So onset, yes, but do they have to have the diagnosis?
It's considered, the law says onset. So diagnosis, we don't like to say diagnosis, we want to say onset, and so that is the difference.
Okay, so they leave it a little vague, which helps a lot of our families. So I'm the center director at Brainbound, so I don't personally, I'm not trying to get it for myself, but for all the families that reach out to us and adults as well. We work with kids, teens, and adults, and I can see, you know, I've had these conversations with multiple families where yeah, sure, it benefits them that it's the onset, because quite a few people don't want that diagnosis or label, or they want it but they don't quite qualify, but they're still challenged. So this is good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Anne, so I went through our FAQ, and to answer that question from earlier, you can link multiple accounts to a CalABLE account. So for example, you might link your son's bank account and then transfer funds back and forth to it as needed. And if you pay for his expenses out of your own checking account, you could also link your own account to his CalABLE account as well.
Thank you for that quick clarification for us, Matt. That's why we have you on the line, or the third best person of the team.
I love it. I have a quick question. When is your next monthly webinar? And who hosts them? Do you host them?
So we have our monthly webinars. It's usually the third Wednesday of the month, from 2 to 4. We actually do our webinars. It's usually Dante is the host, but we host our own webinars, and then we invite speakers in. The way the topics have come to be are what are the questions that we would receive in the webinars. So we usually will do about an hour presentation, and then the second hour is usually open for Q&A, and we get a lot of people asking questions. We've had panels on, we've had SSA has been on, we've had Medi-Cal, we've had Department of Rehabilitation, we had Pride Industries, which is a local work training group here in Sacramento. So we've had just a multitude of topics. Last month, we did one on financial literacy. We are actually launching on our CalABLE website a financial fitness center, and it's free for anybody. What it is there's all these different modules on how to save, if you want to open a small business, what's investing, you know, information on just basic, how do I balance a checkbook? What's a stock? What's a bond? There's all these different modules that we have that we're providing, because these are questions that we get all the time in our webinars. As we know, people that open these CalABLE accounts, many of them are first-time savers. So they've never even thought they could start saving. So even the idea of having an account that I could save money, and if I'm on SSI, oh, I don't have to spend it on, you know, whatever I need. I can actually save it for something. Somebody wants to go to Disneyland, you save your money and you can go to Disneyland. So, I mean, this is just a whole new concept for a lot of people. Even our partners at SSA, this is something that's new for them, because they are so used to making sure everyone is always at that resource limit. And so we've worked with the Social Security Administration offices up and down the state, talking to them about CalABLE, because it's in their palms. So, I mean, there's a whole section in the palms that tells you exactly how these ABLE accounts are to be viewed and reviewed by SSA. So it's a new concept for everybody. And so we just thought that having this tool available would help people over some of those hurdles that they may have never thought they could do.
Thank you, Anne.
And then just I'll add, because I know you asked when the next webinar is. It will be June 15th, and that's a Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And as Anne mentioned, our webinars are generally an hour and a half to 2 hours long, but by popular demand, we got a lot of requests for having a shorter webinar. So we're actually going to have one that's kind of similar to this, where we really just introduce the fundamentals of the program, and it's going to be a 30-minute long webinar, but we'll also have a Q&A session as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Matt. And how do people register? Do they register online?
Yeah. So we have a registration link, and also we'll be putting out just a flyer pretty soon. I could send that to you. It has all the information on the flyer so that anyone can sign up for it.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll place it in the recap email. And just so for those people who are watching at home in the chat, somebody asked if there's a place to access previous webinars. And thank you, Matt, for answering. He said, yes, you can access them all on the CalABLE YouTube channel. They save and upload all of them, just like we're saving this Lunch and Learn today to upload to ATPF. So subscribe to ATPF channel and then go subscribe to CalABLE channel. Perfect. I love it. Amanda from Brain Balance also included the link to their YouTube channel. So awesome, Amanda. Does anybody else have any other questions? Don't be shy. All right. Well, I think if we don't have any other questions. Oh, great. Yes, Amanda, I'll follow up with you directly. Okay, sounds good. Karen, awesome. Karen says, thank you, great resource. Thank you again, Anne and Matthew, so much for your time. I think if anybody has any questions, can we share whose contact info do I get to share on the recap email for anybody to reach out?
Probably the best one is, because this goes to everybody, would be the CalABLE at treasurer.ca.gov. That way, if one of us is out or something, that goes to our general mailbox, and we can, we all look at that and answer those questions. So it would be the CalABLE at treasurer.ca.gov website, and we can all respond to that.
Perfect.
And I typed that in the chat
okay.
as well. Yeah.
I didn't know our chairman of Autism Tree was on today, so that's a nice surprise. Do you want to say hi, Todd Hoff?
Hi, actually, I've been on for the whole thing. This is so critically important what you guys are presenting. I can't thank you guys enough for your participation and guidance. The message can't get out enough. Unfortunately, the economics of the world, especially now with inflation, the market volatility, it's so critical that people have a plan and somebody that can kind of guide them. So I'm inspired by your presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
All right, I'd love to close off our Lunch and Learn with a group picture. This is a tradition at ATPF. We take lots of pictures and all the memories.
Oh.
So if you'd like to turn on your camera, I definitely, I'd highly recommend it. Love for you to be a part of the picture. I will do a little countdown and
Because Anne, I think we established earlier, you're officially part of the ATPF family.
All right, thank you.
And Matt, we're inviting you too. I just say that because Anne shared her personal connection. I hope I get to meet your family, especially since I'm here in San Diego and they're in Del Mar. That seems so doable.
My parents are in Del Mar. My parents are there.
I know. So I'm sure you visit them.
I'll be there in 2 weeks.
Oh, good. Well, I hope that we can meet in person.
That would be great.
Yes.
All right. I'll do a countdown. Yeah. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, cheese. Perfect.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. We hope to see
Take
you.
care, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Anne. Bye, Matt.
Bye. Take care, everyone.